Knicks know that this franchise hasn't won here in 9 years, back when they were still in Kansas City. In Sacramento back in November, the Knicks rolled, winning that one by 19. So history says that tonight should be easy. But lately, nothing has been easy for the Knicks. Lately, saw the officials, the Sacramento Kings, in baby blue. Al Davis would hate it. There's no way that he would think a team could ever be a winner wearing baby blue. But here come the Knicks. Mark Jackson and Gerald Wilkins up front. Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing, and of course Johnny Newman.
The Kings welcome back Danny Ainge, who's matched on Gerald Wilkins. Danny missed the last 2 games with that back injury.
In his hotel room, Ewing. Mark Jackson attempting the offensive rebound. As a matter of fact, Dick Motta was quoted as saying, yeah, Ainge lifted up his suitcase and in it was probably his contract.
And he hurt his back to the point where he missed 2 games, and they certainly missed him.
Ainge guarded by Mark Jackson, who runs into the Greg Kite pick. Ainge whirls it outside. Kenny Smith finding Rodney McRae as the 24-second clock expires. Ewing out for Jackson. Wilkins coming off the big night last night. An air ball layup. Oakley on Kite for Wilkins.
Oakley overpassing, as he does sometimes inside.
So Wilkins missing 2 on this Knicks offensive charge. Just underway at the Garden. Ewing has the Knicks on top.
You see, Greg Kite, a very physical player, doesn't want to be on the bench. So on that play, we saw evidence of him laying back a little instead of being tough on Patrick Ewing. Patrick, sensing that, went right for the hoop.
Kite is one of the first players that Motta exercised renewed confidence in since Motta has taken over the team. Kite's been playing 28 minutes and getting almost 10 rebounds a game. Ainge.
Ainge, a player who's a lot bigger than you think. You see him in the backcourt slot all the time, but he is a legitimate 6'5", so he can get those offensive rebounds and do something.
Oakley guarded by the ex-Pacer Wayman Tisdale. The All-American out of the University of Oklahoma couldn't stop Sir Charles.
Well, Charles very happy to be back here, as I'm sure his teammates are, on these familiar rims, and he's shown that hook shot to opponents lately here at the Garden.
Kenny Smith from long range. It's a 2-pointer.
It's always fun to watch he and Mark Jackson, who are very good friends, play against each other. It only happens twice a year.
Smith is the assist leader on the Kings. Wilkins fires at baseline for Ewing. Tries to look inside and gets Mark Jackson.
The Knicks lead 6-4.
January finally over for the Knicks. 7-9 after a month of December in which they went 11-2.
Greg Kite with a nice turnaround from the foul line. Boy, does he look thinner than the last time we saw him. Must be that playing time now. I guess that's the way you lose weight. Get in the NBA and play a lot.
The Andres diet. What do you think about this baby blue thing, John?
I think it looks pretty. It makes Kenny Smith happy from North Carolina days. He must feel very comfortable out there.
Oakley from 18. All net.
Charles Oakley. The Knicks lead 8-6.
You mentioned that losing record in January. First losing month, as a matter of fact, the Knicks have had in 11 months.
Greg Kite. Powerful.
Nice pass from Ainge.
Kite's got 4.
Oh, he and Ewing ready to go at it now. Ewing wants that basketball.
Ewing whirling and traveling.
Motta's fondest hopes are that Kite stays out of foul trouble early. Kite backs off Patrick Ewing and then stays with him inside. Patrick guilty of the extra step on that play.
Shuffled both feet. Kite way outside, and Ewing, of course, comes out with him. Tisdale on the give and go. It works, and the foul.
Well, who would expect it? But Greg Kite is a scoring threat here in the opening moments of the game. Kite going in on a nice give and go with Wayman Tisdale. He got a nice pass moments ago from Danny Ainge. No one comes over to get in front of him. Newman is behind him. That means nothing to Kite.
Well, Ewing went quickly on the double team, and that left Kite wide open. And a brick tossed up by the BYU grad.
Well, when you hear about defensive players rotating, that's what the Knicks did not get. No one came over and filled the hole that Ewing opened up.
Wilkins drops it for Ewing. He's big factor for Sacramento. He leads the team in steals, is number 2 in scoring and assists. As Mark Jackson with a slick-looking feed makes it 10-all. Kenny Smith, Tisdale wide open. Not close. Johnny Newman very quiet so far and makes his presence felt.
What's interesting to me, this game is almost 5 minutes old, and we haven't said Rodney McRae's name yet. Rodney, a prominent member of the illustrious graduates of New York City high schools.
Jackson on the intercept. The Kings will keep it. As it deflected off Mark's hand, he couldn't control it. Dick Monison's taking over the Sacramento Kings, 5-9, from Jerry Reynolds, who has moved up in the front office. And of course, Reynolds had one of the great quotes of all time after that happened. He said, if I do a bad job now, they'll make me the owner.
He's the heir apparent to Frank Layden with one-liners. Dick Motta, a man who will never be accused of being funny, except maybe by his family.
Well, he did have a couple of Yogi Berra type quips when he took over the team. I think to one sports writer, he said, well, Rodney and McRae just can't play that many minutes. And of course, someone said, Dick, Rodney and McRae are one guy. Oakley. Looked like he forced it up, but it snaps the cords.
One way to keep Wayman Tisdale busy is for Oakley to do some scoring himself. That's pretty much what Tisdale thinks about most of the time.
Well, the matchups again, Mark Jackson on Kenny Smith, Tisdale with Oakley, Greg Kite with Ewing. Rodney McRae with Johnny Newman.
That was Wayman Tisdale.
And Tisdale hits, and he and Oakley go back and forth at both ends.
Well, Gerald went his own way. Made a very difficult shot.
He's 0 for 3. Tisdale is absolutely hammered. That is okay. Timeout on the court. Knicks and Kings all tied up.
Goal is good. It was scored by Wayman Tisdale.
Back at Madison Square Garden, where the Kings are hosting, or the Knicks are hosting the Kings, and we're really happy to see Knicks trainer Mike Saunders back on the bench after a long recovery following that car accident.
Yes, it's great to see Mike back, and I don't think any of us can really appreciate what he went through. Operation, car accident, and it was just a horrible experience for him, and he's back and fighting trim. In fact, looks great. In fact, I complimented him before in that waistline. Unfortunately, it's because his jaws are wired, so he can't chow down like the rest of us, but he's really getting in great shape.
Mike was in his four-wheel drive vehicle, hit a patch of ice at the Knicks practice center, actually went over a curb and was airborne and went into a tree, and that's what officials felt didn't activate his seatbelt. They felt that he hadn't had enough time to slam on the brakes. The seatbelt wasn't activated. His face slammed into the front. He had facial reconstruction, but Mike Saunders is back. I told him he looked like he was on the wrong side of a Jake LaMotta fight. Ewing on Kite.
They shot the ball very well. They need 4 players in the 20s, it seems, these days to win any games.
Gray guarded by Ewing. Kenny Smith with Mark Jackson on him. Kite on the run.
That was Greg Kite.
Greg Kite now has 8 points. His season high was 10. So he's 2 points away from his season best against Patrick Ewing. Johnny Newman fails on the flying jam.
Kings foul charged to
Al,
Wayman
tonight's
Tisdale.
entrant in the Amtrak three-point field goal contest is Evensley Brown. His guess is that Mark Jackson will score the first three-pointer of the game if Evensley is correct.
That's three-point field goal, not three-point play, right?
Yes.
Yes. Knicks by 1. Newman on the steal and just heaves it up the court as he was flying out of bounds, and of course no one was able to get there. 5:21 to go in the first quarter. Stu Jackson in his most difficult time as Knicks head coach. Smith for Tisdale, and McCray gets the handoff.
Knicks switching well on that play, and McCray ends up posting up Newman with his superior strength. But the Knicks come out of it at least with a deflection now. Tisdale unable to score.
9 on the 24-second clock for Sacramento. Greg Kite. He's feeling his oats now. Intercept by Ainge. Wide open.
Charles Oakley not careful with that pass.
Johnny Newman sees an opening. Couldn't get the scoop.
Just dropped. You would understand it. I mean, he is really hanging in there by a thread as he's been unable to generate any positive play.
Reactivated from some knee problems on January 12th, and of course he was acquired in a trade with Golden State for Jim Peterson. At that time, that was felt to be the ultimate indignity for a player of Ralph's stature. Ewing on Sampson, and it falls.
Goal is quickly scored by Patrick Ewing.
That was an outstanding move by Ewing. And I don't think we fault Ralph Sampson on that play. I mean, Ewing going left, gets the little bump initially, and is able to overcome the presence of the 7'4" Ralph Sampson. A great move by Ewing.
Knicks by 6, 23-17. 4:15 to go in the first quarter. Can you imagine, John, the difficult bouts, I mean, psychologically, that Ralph has had to endure over the past couple of years? I mean, of course, he's getting paid well in the meantime with his big contract, but
I think that's a $2 million contract.
Jackson on the break for Gerald.
Gerald Wilkins. The Knicks lead 25-17.
Wilkins, the trailer, puts it in, and that's the first shot Gerald has made for his first 2 points of the game. Winningest NBA coach all time and the third losingest NBA coach of all time. But of active coaches, he is the winningest.
And happy to be back after a year of being an analyst on television and playing golf.
Very active defense by the Knicks. Ainge, though, hits from long range, a 2-pointer. As the second quarter begins, the Knicks leading by 5. And a collision inside. Patrick Ewing's in the middle of it, and I believe Patrick is called for the foul.
Offensive foul charged to Patrick Ewing of the Knicks. That's his first personal.
Patrick Ewing going to position and just gets tangled up with Ainge. Unintentional.
Stu Jackson is voicing his displeasure in a rather mild way. Ainge being guarded by Strickland. That's a mismatch clearly favoring Ainge. Sampson guarded by Eddie Lee Wilkins. Henry Turner still in there for Sacramento.
Henry Turner, Fullerton State, 1988, 6'7" tall. That's about it, Al.
That's it? Is that all you got on him? Well, I feel like I know the guy up close and personal now. Also in the lineup for Sacramento is Vinny Del Negro.
For the Kings,
and Wayman Tisdale will sit.
McCray is back in.
Eddie Wilkins getting inside. Of course, by dribbling the basketball, it gave Wayman Tisdale a chance to get a little closer.
He pointed that out on many occasions. Rodney McRae back in for Sacramento. Plays more minutes than anybody on this team. And there's McRae with the ball. Good fake. Ewing went way up, and McRae on the one-hander.
Rodney McRae.
And Rodney McRae has his first points of the game.
Rodney starting quietly. Lately, though, he has been the last 4 games at 20 points per game.
Ewing.
Well, the Knicks have gone cold, and slowly the Kings have come back into this thing.
Knicks by 3, 31-28. Knicks haven't scored yet in the second quarter, which is 2 minutes old. Steal between Ewing and Eddie Lee Wilkins as Stu Jackson is going with that rather tall front line. Strickland pulls up and nails it.
Ron Strickland. Knicks lead 33-28.
Del Negro in the last 4 weeks has been a bit of a hot player for Sacramento as he gets the feed and laces it in.
Just a basic give and go. Nice look from Ralph Sampson. Odd to see Pete Myers caught like that. He's such a good defensive player.
Del Negro has offensive ability. 27 last week against Golden State as Ewing. The foul, and it counts.
Knicks foul charged against Ralph Sampson. His second and the team's
Well, it
first.
appears that Sampson has Ewing under control, but he doesn't move the feet. He just waves at Patrick. Doesn't move those feet. The only way you can play defense. He certainly does not have upper body strength, which is hurting him greatly.
And completely flat-foot. I mean, never even made an attempt to go with Patrick.
Yes, he didn't use the upper body, or he didn't use the feet, and that's why he got embarrassed in front of the coach, who's making evaluations daily about this team. That's what Dick Motta said before the game when I asked him what his expectations were for this year. He pretty much discounted. He just said, I want to look at everybody and see what we have.
Back the other way, Sampson on the layup.
Boy, you see that Ralph could not even get up off the ground on that. He couldn't extend up to the basket.
Knicks by 4. Ewing cuts across. Sampson has trouble with the pick.
Patrick Ewing.
And the starting center for the Eastern Conference All-Star team next weekend in Miami makes it 38-32.
Sampson's problems with Ewing begin with his inability to physically match Ewing when Ewing wants the position that Ewing is after. And Patrick is able to get it every time. Sampson just cannot physically match him in strength.
Another steal by the Knicks. Most of the Knicks steals have been team steals, at least that's what I would call them. The back pass from Strickland is off Oakley's chest.
Unfortunate play for Strickland, but he looks like a different player tonight, energy-wise. He had a touch of the flu, and it looks like he has shaken it. Nice block by Ewing.
Sacramento's picked up the pace a bit. Seems like they want to force it up the floor a little bit faster. Newman.
Against Golden State.
I believe I just said this, Johnny.
Okay, 32 points. 32 points. That was just amazing. I thought it bad repeating now.
By the way, the stat of the night for the Knicks is the free throw shooting. As Sampson misses on the dunk, and again, John, as you pointed out, just didn't seem to get off his feet. Here's Ewing the other way. The Knicks are 12 for 12 from the free throw line.
Kings foul charged to Rodney McRae. His first and the team's
McRae is first foul as Ewing goes to the line.
Harold Presley.
Evidenced in his prior years a lot of talent, and he's made it rather well in the NBA.
Well, the Knicks no longer perfect from the free throw line. Ewing on the one miss at the other end. Air ball. Oakley's there. Here's Tucker. Bounce pass. Strickland all the way. A little too hard on the layup. Back comes Sacramento. A little bit of a higher gear in their offense. 7:35 to go in the first half.
It's interesting to me how Dick Motta is staying with Sampson.
Oakley poked it away. Strickland finds him all alone. 41-32 Knicks.
Height had such a great start in this game. And then it would appear he came out for a rest, but Sampson's been in there for quite a while, has done nothing.
I still have vivid memories of a Dr. J tomahawk dunk he went up over the top of me and came crashing down and about took the rim off the backboard and just kind of left me standing there with Spalding across my head.
Well, Mark Eaton shouldn't feel too badly.
Kite is sitting on the bench with 8 points. Ewing. Rebound pulled down by Rodney McCray. McCray's been really quiet. 2 points is all he has. Another miss by the Kings. Out come the Knicks.
I asked McCray before the game if there's many friends from this area, having played at Mount Vernon. He's a schoolyard legend up there, a high school legend certainly. He said, no, being out west, you know, he didn't feel many people are following his career. That's surprising answer.
Sounds lonely.
But I don't know if he was telling the truth. When Rodney McCray's in town, a lot of people know about it. Kings have increased the tempo here, which has helped the Knicks as they get into it. One of these interesting plays was Ralph Sampson getting a nice pass from Rodney McCray. And Ralph labored, as you saw, going up for that layup. No one was in front of him, no one to bother him, and it looked like it was tough for him. Another observation here with Ralph at 7'4", missing the slam dunk. He just had no velocity, no strength in that move.
6:10 to go in the first half.
That was Rodney McCray.
And Rodney McCray
Knicks lead 43-34.
records his 3rd and 4th points. Knicks 43, Kings 34. Al Troutler in for Marv Albert, along with John Andres, Bruce Beck, and Walt Clyde Frazier. Presley inside from McCray, got 2 Knicks up in the air, Newman and Ewing, and is fouled, I think, by Johnny Newman.
A bit of a defensive transition problem for the Knicks now as the Kings are pushing the ball up court and getting easy shot attempts and drawing fouls. Rodney, as a freshman on the NCAA championship Louisville team, was the center.
Ewing, the turnaround over Sampson is short. Tisdale. Outlet pass for Smith. Stopped by Mark Jackson. The Knicks very quick on defense as Wilkins gets it from Oakley.
Charles Wilkins. The Knicks lead 45-35.
Charles Oakley must lead the league in assists to teammates who get layups inside the foul line around the basket. You got that out?
Yes, exactly. Jackson on a perfect lead pass. Jackson's only taken 2 shots in the game. We're 5 minutes left to go in the first half. And much too far for Patrick Ewing.
Jackson has been very fancy with the ball, a lot of flashy behind the back stuff. And in a casual manner, he threw the ball out of bounds, and the fans are not missing the fancy action with the ball, and they're reacting naturally to that casual throwing away of the basketball by Mark.
First time in a long time that I think the fans have had that reaction to booing against Jackson's effort.
Wayman Tisdale in his customary low post position, showing his power. Wayman, by the way, announced recently that he has become part owner of a CBA team that will be in Oklahoma City next year. I asked him about that before the game. He confirmed it.
That, of course, close by where he went to school in Norman. Oakley fires it to Gerald Wilkins. His fingertips still burning from the speed of that pass. He finds it for Newman, and a foul on the drive. We hear a lot of players talk about having a dream of owning a franchise.
And the team scored.
CBA franchises are attracting a lot of attention now as pro basketball continues to flourish.
Fouls and 8 points.
Well, from my standpoint, I guess he feels as if he's around a 10-point deficit, he's in the game. And Kite had such a good start, and he has a propensity of drawing fouls. So he will get, hopefully, from Mata, a full second half out of Kite this way. Herman Cull, his assistant.
Knicks play host to the struggling Indiana Pacers on Saturday, as the schedule in February is a lot easier than the one in January. Sampson outside. Fans seem to be chanting for him to put it up. Presley way off. And the basket counts.
Yes, Ewing was around the rim when that shot hit it, and it hit his hand. And it was interpreted by Jess Kersey as a goaltend. That basket counts. That shot counts.
Sampson overplaying Ewing, and as he did, that called for the foul, and the basket will not count. Danny Ainge back in for Sacramento.
Kings foul charged to Ralph Sampson.
Once again, Ewing way down low. I mean, he can't get much closer to the basket than that.
Number 7, Danny Ainge is back in.
And he is fouled on the play. Good bounce pass by Jackson. It's so easy to catch those bounce passes.
Patrick Ewing at the line. 2 shots.
Lucky Sacramento would be if by some chance Ralph Sampson could get to the point where he could be a major contributor for this team. It seems to be against all odds at this point, but they have nothing to lose. It could be well worth the investment of time and encouragement.
Well, it looks like his legs just aren't strong enough, and no matter how much encouragement he gets or how hard he works, actually, if the legs aren't healthy, he's not going to be the Ralph Sampson people expect, or he may not be a pro basketball player. Hopefully, he will come back and get the strength in his legs. That's just the beginning of what he has to do.
Oakley, the rainbow. Ewing goes up with Kite, and they come down together. It'll be a jump ball.
Everybody conducted themselves nicely. No one tried to wrestle or get into an elbow thing, which has happened before.
You seem like you might be expecting something to happen.
Well, there have been sparks between these two many times in the past.
Ewing taps it for Newman, takes a big step.
What a block by Tisdale.
Gerald Wilkins follows.
The Knicks lead 51-30.
And the Knicks have a 12-point lead. Ainge. Followed by Tisdale, but Mark Jackson is there to strip him of the ball. Oakley behind the back, Newman. Ewing tried the dunk. Here's Oakley.
Well, Charles, as is his way, jumps into